Good morning. My name is Thomas Bennett. I'm the VP of Architecture at Unico Solution. Today I want to talk to you about our ElasticScheduler product. Now, this product came into conception trying to solve the business pain point of loading data into SaaS database systems, in Snowflake, Redshift, Aurora. Up until the ElasticScheduler, most companies were using cron jobs or custom code or scripts and Windows Scheduler. And these are very error prone. Where do the scripts live? What happens if there's a failure? Unless you build all that logic into your script, you might not have any idea that your script failed because of any type of any situation that it could be. Maybe your warehouse is suspended in Snowflake because you have the timeout set on it. Maybe it's a data load issue. So by using the ElasticScheduler, it solves all those capabilities. So let's log in. Now, when you first come into the ElasticScheduler, you're immediately dropped at the Active Monitors page. This way you can see what's going on with your environment, what jobs you have running, how many. But first, let's start with the Support tab. Unico Solution, we have the support homepage for the product. You can come in, submit a ticket, look at the knowledge base, speak with the community. Next, we have the administration. This is where you can add users. You can assign them roles. You can add custom roles as you so choose. You can also set up an email configuration so that you can communicate out. So if a job does fail, you want to be able to get that information out, or you can even have it sent out if it's successful. So you can get both sides of that coin depending on how the job runs and who you want to send that to. So you can have a success go to one person and a failure maybe go to your DevOps team. We'll come back to design in a minute, and I'll show you why in just a moment. Next, let's go to connections. So out of the box, Unico Solutions ElasticScheduler supports Snowflake, Aurora, MySQL, Redshift, and S3. Now, at the moment, our source is S3. We pull that information in, issue the load commands to these various systems. These are very performance-driven. It's not just doing JDBC commits. It's actually using the custom load command for those SaaS databases. So let's take a look at the Snowflake. We're going to be working with Snowflake today. So as you'll see, you just go in, you set up your username, your password, your account, what warehouse that you're using, the database, and the schema. Once you set all that up, you can actually test it, make sure this works, and fix any corrections, and otherwise, you can go ahead and save your connection. Next, we have a scheduler. You'll see our scheduler is fairly robust. You can set the time zone that you want to run it in, the start date and time. How often do you want it to run, monthly, hourly. You can even have it run every 5 minutes is the lowest interval that we go. You can choose what day of the week. Are there any time ranges associated? When do you want it to end? Do you want it to run forever, or do you want it to end on a certain date and time? Next, we build our jobs. So our jobs, in today's demo, we'll look at the load into Snowflake. You'll see that I have it set to run on my 5-minute scheduler. So every 5 minutes, it'll be picked up to try to run. I have it reading out of my S3 bucket. And from there, I tell it I want to go to Snowflake. And then I issue my copy command, which is the command for Snowflake to load data into from S3. It's very fast. The one thing I wanted to be able to point out was you'll notice that for the AWS credentials, your key ID and secret key, we don't put them in plain text. We actually created environment variables that then pull that information out of your connection. So that way you can have your team go in, set up your S3 connection, and your build team that's building out your scripts, loading the data, all they have to know is to use these environment variables and to select whichever S3 connection they want. So that way it keeps it very secure. And then again, you can have your success and failure emails go to whatever, distribution list or individual team that you so choose. Now, we'll come back to design. So when we come back to design, we have a couple of things that we can do. First, we'll look at workflows. So workflows allow you to have the capability to choose in which order you want a group of tasks to run. And those tasks can be anything from a job or a data loader. And we'll look at data loaders in a second. So once you choose what you want, you can select the sequence that you want it to run, and they will execute in that order. And again, you can set up email notifications for these as well. It overrides if the job happens to have one set. And you can also schedule these or not have it scheduled as, as an ad hoc. Now the data loader, where this comes in handy is, let's say you get, you have a business analyst or anybody that gets a file that they want to load into one of your tables, or maybe they have they want to have a table built in any of these various target databases, and they want to load that in, or maybe they want to load it into one of your already existing tables so they can run some analysis on it. Well, so what they can do from the data loader is you can come in, you give it a name, tell it your target location, Snowflake, tell it your operation. It then presents you with a list of all the tables that this instance, that this connection of Snowflake has available to it. So we'll choose test 1. We'll choose our S3 bucket. Now, this S3 bucket, points to your a folder, particular folder under this bucket. And then it shows to us all the available files that we have to us to use. Then we can click Next. And you'll see what it does here is it allows you to have a basic mapping. So that way, if your output, that you receive from somebody doesn't match up 100% from what your table is, because some extracts can be put in with the same header format, so it automatically matches. Now, in this particular case, maybe they don't. So you can go through now and choose that you want A to actually map to the C1 column in your target table, and that's all in this case. If you had more columns, you could match those up as well. Next, we can go through again. We tell it the schedule we want this to run on, and any email notification that we so choose. I'm going to save and schedule this. And now we have our data loader. Finally, we'll come over and take a look at, again, we have a bunch of jobs running. I have these running on a very short schedule. We'll come over and take a look at our history. It tells us success and failures, so I'll click on success. It tells me I had some failures with Redshift, a couple with data loader. Let's take a look at these with Snowflake. In this case, I forgot to make sure my warehouse wasn't suspended, so it tried to load the data in, and it now reports back, and it would email it to you as well and say, hey, I tried to run this script, the warehouse was in a suspended state, now you need to go in and reactivate your warehouse to get it to run. Well, I hope you enjoyed this demo of the ElasticScheduler. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out at tbennett@unicosolution.com. You have a nice day.